side. All his fielders out there. 6 to win. 4.
In the last phase, I'm gonna ask you a rapid fire question, and I don't want you to explain. I just want you to answer me with one word. Who would you pick if the best Indian captain, Viratkholi or Rohitsharma at the moment?
Probably Sharma, but I haven't looked at it enough. There you go. There was my one word answer that went for longer.
All right. Best dresser player in the world you have ever seen or witnessed?
I've always liked the stylings of Russell Arnold. I think he wears a very good brown suit. Mark Butcher will be very upset that I haven't picked him. There's some sharp looking lads in the West Indies, and also was it Totsobi? Totsobi had some good style as well. But yeah, there's probably no one talks enough about this that that Dan Vettori actually went through a nerdcore phase. So I would say that Dan Vettori is up there as well.
Oldest player in the history of cricket?
Probably be Paul Nixon, wouldn't it? Incredibly loud player, never stops talking. Yeah, incredible. So I'd say Paul Nixon would be high on that list.
Best dancer in the history of cricket?
Best dancer? I am not sure I am qualified to say that. I mean, I have seen players dance. I tell you what, when I worked with St. Lucia, I saw Darren Sammy and his daughter do a whole dance routine together. I don't know if that makes him the best dancing cricketer ever, but you've really got to, he put a lot of commitment into the move.
Hardest worker in the history of cricket?
It's a very interesting question, because there are obviously players who have worked in different ways. You wonder, interesting question. There are so many guys that work so hard.
We'll skip that, that's fine.
Yeah.
Best singer in the history of cricket?
So I would have thought Mark Butcher and Henry Olonga would have been right up there, but just recently, and I've forgotten his name, but Herbert Chang. Herbert Chang played a couple of games for the West Indies and released a reggae song, and it's really good. It's a really good reggae song, so he's going right up in my list.
Best leader of the team in the history of cricket?
I think Imran Khan probably has Imran Khan and Clive Lloyd, because of what they did overall. They certainly changed the way their cricket cultures went and their cricket teams went, and the way we look at their teams. And they also had to overcome what were every single obstacle that their countries or their islands had put in their way. So it's probably one of those two. Wasim
or Waqar? Wasim. Dennis Lilly or Michael Holding?
Lilly,
yeah. Courtney Walsh or Curtly Ambrose?
Curtly. What?
Best sense of humor in the history of cricket? Who was that?
Well, Kerry O'Keefe's pretty funny. I don't know how much you know about Max Walker, the Australian. I'm not sure he has the best sense of humor. He might have the worst sense of humor. But Max Walker built a whole career on writing books called How to Strangle a Chook and how to, molest a crocodile and stuff at the end of his career. So he was pretty funny. Wes Hall was really funny too. If you ever get a chance to listen to old tapes of Wes Hall speak, Wes Hall was basically a stand-up comedian for me.
Favorite film?
Cricket film or film of all time?
All time, yeah, film, yeah.
Oh, wow. I did not know you were going to go there. My favorite film of all time, I suppose the film that had the biggest impact on me was Natural Born Killers. I'm not sure if it's my favorite, but it certainly changed the trajectory of my life.
Sachin Tendulkar or Rahul Dravid?
I don't know Sachin, so I'm kind of biased because I know Rahul a little bit. But I think Sachin was the better batsman. Rahul Dravid is something else as a human being, perhaps, but I think Sachin was the better batsman.
Best captain in the history of Indian cricket?
Vizzy.
All right. And best captain in the history of Pakistan, except Imran Khan?
Except Imran Khan. It's quite interesting because it depends on what you're looking for. I mean, the whole Yunus Misbah situation, what they brought Pakistan cricket back from, is very interesting. I'm not sure either of them were brilliant tacticians, but having to overcome the nonsense, they've probably been better tactical captains than them going back in the history of Pakistan cricket. But you know, Misbah essentially saved Pakistan cricket from the abyss, didn't he? In many ways, and he did it while most of the Pakistani fans were moaning about him. So, if nothing else, he deserves credit for that.
Yeah, Brian Lara or Vivian Richard?
I missed the best of Viv Richards, so I'll go with Lara, even though I think if I'd seen both of them play, I probably would have enjoyed Viv more.
Kane Warne or Muralidharan?
Warne. He's a leg spinner. Who's picking an off spinner if you've got the choice?
Favorite sportsman in the history? Your favorite sportsman in the history?
You'd probably be looking at someone like Muhammad Ali, but obviously John Carlos, Thomas Smith, and Peter Norman are right up there as well. There's obviously been some incredible female athletes that probably are not too far away either. But yeah, probably Muhammad Ali, I would say.
Biggest fear? You think the biggest fear?
I don't have many obvious fears like other people. I would be very terrible in the novel 1984. I'm not sure. They'd have to come up with something that would just annoy me, I think, rather than...
Australia, they need 75 runs in 5 overs. Who would you pick? Mike Hussey or Michael Bevan?
Glenn Maxwell.
Glenn Maxwell. And if you could be anything else than a cricket writer, who...
I always wanted to be a screenwriter, write movies, which I suppose I've written one, I've written a documentary. But yeah, I'm an accidental cricket writer. And
coolest captain in the world, cricket? The
coolest captain? Captains are usually nerds.
Kane Richardson or MS Dhoni?
I'll go Kyle Kutzer because I worked with him in Scotland and he's pretty cool. For a middle-aged, bald Scottish guy.
Most embarrassing moment in the history of cricket, you think?
I thought you were going to ask my most embarrassing moment. I once got my foreskin stuck in a zipper. That was pretty embarrassing. Most embarrassing moment in the history of cricket. Oh my God. How about the fact that for, hundreds of years, we didn't really allow women to play and the ICC didn't get involved in the women's game? How about the fact that West Indies had white captains as part of their rules? How about the whole Basil D'Oliveira thing? Underarm cricket was pretty embarrassing as well. How about the way that cricket has been run for 150 years? It's not a small list.
All right. And best innings ever in the history of cricket.
Best innings ever in the history of Test cricket probably would be Kusal Perera or Ben Stokes. If you're asking the best innings I've ever seen, I saw Callis make a 4th innings 100 against Shane Warne at the MCG, and I saw Matthew Elliott in a Shield game play an innings that didn't make any sense, where he didn't mishit a ball against basically a Test lineup. But yeah, probably one of those two.
Who would you rate the favorite win in the history of cricket? Which comes first in your mind? Is it semi-final 1999 South Africa Australia? We all remember that was tie. Then last year World Cup final, that was a close one.
I'd probably go a completely different way, and I would say it's not even a favourite win, but the first time Afghanistan played major level cricket in the World T20 or the World Cup. Probably the World Cup, because the World T20 wasn't much of a big deal then. Them just being out on the field was the biggest win that cricket has ever had. And if you want to add anything more modern to that, I would say the exact same thing of the Thai women playing in the World Cup. Them being involved is a bigger win for cricket than any single win has ever been for cricket.
And the last question is favorite wicket, you would say, in the history. Who would you rate? There could be so many, but the favorite wicket or
of all time. That is such a big question. I suppose is Viv Richards going out and being caught by Kapil Dev in the 1983 World Cup final. That is the one wicket that has changed cricket the most. If you look at the most emotional moment, Don Bradman being bowled for a duck in his last game, is hugely important. If you're going for my favorite ball of all time, I don't know, that's probably going to be, Azam getting out Alan Lamb perhaps in the 92 World Cup final, or one of many, or maybe Shane Warne getting out Andrew Strauss in the 2005 Ashes would be up there as well. So yeah, there's a lot of different ones for that. I'm not sure I answered that right.
Thank you very much for your time today. I don't have words to say thank you to you for sparing your precious time. Thank you, Gerard, and I wish you all the best, and hope we see you in the commentary box soon. That's what we just want to see. And is there any new book coming, or are you writing any new book? Or?
I'm not really working on new books at the moment. I've obviously got my podcasts. So I've got Red Inca, which is weekly podcast, and Double Century, which is on the history of Test cricket, which comes every now and again, and my YouTube channel, which is on my name. So I'm spending most of my time on those things at the moment, and doing some other work for radio occasionally.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
No problem. Have a good one. Bye.
Yes. I wanted to shake hand with you, but that's not possible. Thank you very much. Cheers. Yeah.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.